Okay, coming to the next problem. A hemisphere diameter 70 mm is placed on the ground on its curved surface. A cone base diameter 70 mm and height 70 mm is placed centrally on it. Draw the projection. So it is clearly given. There is one hemisphere, that is half cut sphere, which is placed on the ground on its curved surface upon which a cone is resting. So proceeding further, have a look. So what is the diameter of hemisphere? It is 70 mm. So what you can do is, starting from this point, start 70, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 to this side, again to the left side, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, again from this point, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, from this point, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So you will meet up with a common point. So draw this. Next, join this way. So after drawing this, how to identify the center? You know that. Take a midpoint of this. After drawing this, if you join these lines, you will get a midpoint. Before that, so how to draw the curved surface here? Join these 2 points to this particular point. So join this way. Next, with this as a center, this as a radius, draw this arc. Similarly, these 2 points to be joined to the opposite point, draw this way. Next, with this as a center, this as a radius, draw this curve. After drawing this curve, next the intersection of these 2 line is somewhere here. So with this point as a center, this as a radius, draw one more curve this way. Next, with this as a center, this as a radius, same, draw one more curve. So after drawing this, you will get a top surface of the hemisphere. Next, proceeding further, identify the center as I told by joining the opposite points. You will get a center somewhere here. Next, to proceed with the hemisphere, as I told in the previous videos, with this as a center point, that is center point as a center point, curved part as a radius, keep the compass and draw one curved path. So you can draw this particular way. So after drawing this, so this is a hemisphere. It is clearly given. It is placed on the ground on its curved surface. So this is the curved surface which is placed on the ground. Next, have a look. A cone of base diameter 70 mm, mean to say that hemisphere diameter is 70 and the cone base diameter is also 70. Since the diameter of both is same, you need not to construct the circular part again. So now what you can do is, with this center, rise the height. It is also a 70 mm. From this, you start rising the axis height for 70. So that is from this point, ISO 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Next, draw this tangential line to the curved path. So next, with this, the problem is not completed. When a cone is placed, so I will just highlight in some other color just for an understanding purpose. Have a look. When a cone is placed, the curved part is clearly visible. Whichever the part which comes in between these things, you can erase or else you can maintain with a thin line. After completing this, have a look. I have just maintained this with a very thin line. You can remove or else you can maintain with a thin line. Some examiner expects the construction lines to be shown. Now, after all these things, you can show the dimension. This particular height is ISO 70 mm. Next, when it comes to base part, again This is ISO 70 mm. Next, you can show this angles. This is 30 degree and this is 30 degree. Okay, coming to the next problem. A sphere diameter 40 mm is placed centrally on the flat face of a hemisphere diameter 60 mm. Draw the projection or draw the isometric projection. Have a look. In this particular, the first problem, there was one hemisphere upon which the same diameter cone was placed. When it comes to this particular, there is one hemisphere at the bottom same as this. Instead of cone, the complete sphere is placed. Okay. So have a look. Proceeding further. First we shall draw the hemisphere, that is 60, starting from this point, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Again somewhere to this side, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Next, from this point start counting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Again from here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We will meet with a common point. After meeting this, join this way. So you will get a plane here. After that, so identify the opposite point same as this particular problem. So after identifying the center point, that is the hemisphere diameter is 60. So this points will be placed at the center, that is 30. Next, after placing this, join these two points to this particular. So after joining this, with this as a center, this as a radius, draw one curve this way. Next, similarly, join these 2 points to somewhere to the opposite one. So have a look. Whatever I am drawing with a thin line. The constructions should be drawn with a thin line. As usual, with this as a center, this as a radius, draw this curve and have a look. The intersection of these 2 points somewhere here, with this as a center, this as a radius, draw one more curve this way. After drawing this, again with this as a center, this as a radius, draw one more curve. So after drawing this, how to identify the center? Join these opposite points. So after drawing this, you will get the center. With this center as a center, this point as a radius, draw this curve. So after drawing this, what we have done? We have drawn a hemisphere of diameter 60. So you can show the dimension. This is ISO 60 mm. Next, sphere of diameter 40 mm to be placed on this particular. So from this center, raise the height. So the height of this should be ISO 20 mm. That is from this point, ISO 10 and 20. So you will get a center. Next, show this dimension to the right side. This dimension should be ISO 20 mm. Next, as I told, after getting a center point, what you need to do in case of sphere, take a true radius. So I will write here. So take a true radius, that is 20 mm. Measure this in a scale. Next, with this as a center, you start drawing this sphere. So this sphere should be of true radius. So that is, this is true radius 20 mm. So next, just for a confirmation, when you draw this curve, ensure it should cross beyond this center point. So this completes your problem. Make a note, when a sphere is clearly visible, this portion is not visible. So you can maintain this with a very thin line, or else you can just erase that part. What I am doing is, I am just maintaining with a thin line. Next, you can as usual show this angle. Never forget, this is 30 degree and this is also a 30 degree. This completes your problem.